We're back, Structure Studios 101 S Pool S Studio S Blue. And we're going to be doing a simple covered porch section per request from one of our members in our Facebook group, VIP 3D Core Essentials. Come on over and see us. If you have any requests, you can always post up. Doesn't matter how simple it is, doesn't matter how complex it is. We'll help you figure it out. We'll do some quick tips and tricks videos for you to kind of show you how it's done in the program. That way you guys can, not spend hours of your time trying to figure out these things, and we can just knock it out in just a few minutes. So this is going to be the image that we were provided with. How do you do this cutout in Structure Studio? So this is what we're going to be doing right here, and we're going to be showing you how to do this pretty quick. This is a very, very simple um, house here, just a single story, older home with a covered porch. So very simple, very, very rudimentary. So the key is with Structure Studios, since it's such a rudimentary program, you have to think wooden blocks. We're not thinking civil engineering. We're not thinking architectural. We're not even thinking checkers. We're thinking wooden blocks. And you just build things in blocks. So it's one big block puzzle. So don't overcomplicate this program. It's very, very simple to use. I think the issue that a lot of people have is they just overcomplicate it. They just think it's hard. Don't think that way. It's very simple. And we're going to show you how to do this very, very quickly to save you a lot of time. And again, as I stated many, many times in our group of VIP 3D Core Essentials on Facebook, always separate your walls from your roof. And then you'll be surprised at things that you can do with this program. You just section in, you just work in small sections. I divide and conquer. You got a 30,000 square foot house or a 2,100 square foot house. It doesn't matter. Just divide and conquer. Block puzzle everything together, piece by piece. Everything will fit together. As long as you're using your grid properly, as long as you're using your snaps, everything's going to fall into place and it's going to be nice and seamless. So very, very simple here. So let's get started with this really quick. And I'll show you how to do this right now. All right, so first things first, we're going to set our grid up. On a 1-inch grid for accuracy always. Anything greater than 1 inch, you're really doing yourself, a disservice and just creating more frustration for yourself. 1-inch grid for accuracy. Our snaps are going to be set up since we're drawing straight lines in grid, relative angle, the L shortcut key, and autocomplete on mine is always on. But if I'm drawing a house, everything's straight lines, this is the only snap menu that I'm going to have is this right here. So we got all that set up. So this is the only image that we have, so we're just going to make it up. Let's just say this is maybe, let's just say 12, 7, 18. This might come out a little bit, so we're going to 8 there. So, all right, let's do this. So we're going to start here. We're going to go into the house stage, and we're going to get started here, and we're going to zoom in on a spot. This is one of my other tutorials that I did. So A, shortcut key for line, and we're going to start with, let's go 15. Type in 15. We're going to drop back 7. We're going to go over 18. Let's go 8 on here. We're going to go over, let's say that gable's 21 feet. And this house is 40. And autocomplete. So when you see the dotted dashed yellow line, just hit enter. Enter if your autocomplete is on. Hit enter twice and it'll complete it for you. So what you're looking at here is Structure Studios will, by default, add a roof to your walls. That's not what we want to do because as you see, the porch notches back and there's a shot straight across to this gable here. So this is why separating your roof from your walls is critical on even if it's a simple single story house like this. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Just always think separate roof from walls and then you're good to go. So you'll be building these houses, much faster, much more efficiently, and much more accurate if you think along those scales. So don't overcomplicate it. You're going to be okay. So what I'm going to do is, if you go into the house stage, um, let's look at 3D here. This is what it's going to be. Obviously, it's not correct. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to go into the house stage. I'm going to go full roof, this tab here, modify full roof setting. Click that. Notice a roof line will be checked. I'm going to uncheck that. In this house, it looks like is maybe a 24-inch porch that you step up, like 4 steps or something maybe. I can't really tell. We're going to make this 24 inches. So if these are 8-foot walls, 9, 10. So we're going to keep this at a 10 plate. And then we're going to put a 24-inch porch on this guy here. So again, we're going to be working from the bottom up. And we're going to be working from the walls. So I'm going to go into hardscapes and decks. I'm going to go back into 2D. I'm just going to zoom in on a corner. A for line. Go here. I'm going to click D, shortcut key for outline tool. I'm going to just drag this all the way over just like this. I'm going to click that. And we're going to set this at 24 inches. So there we go. So now we have our porch set up like so. And then you can add in your steps. I can't really see any steps, so I don't really, maybe they're longer steps. I can't really tell from that image. So what you hear, I do this a lot. Create staircase. Let's put a stairwell here. It's going to give us our 4 steps. We're going to come across. Let's make these steps like 6 feet. Now watch this. So it's going to default with a 3-inch cap on a square like this right here. So our grass is pretty deep. That's why this doesn't give a full 6. So what I always do is, if you go to change the materials, let's just say we wanted all this to be brick. So it's going to highlight everything, be brick. Click the sides, brick. Click here on the top, brick. And there we go. So what I like to do for my, you see this top soldier course here? See how it's nice and straight? So on your treads or your lips, turn them 90 degrees. Whoops. 90 degrees. Let's see what just happened there. That's weird. So 90. There we go. So if you notice that it's going to, it's not always going to be perfectly accurate here. So you see these brick seams. This is a very simple fix. So all we're going to do is grab our move material, our little hand right here, our pan selected material. Click that. And then we're just going to draw. See that? See how nice and clean that looks? So you don't have this weird grout line seam. So it's these little details like this that really give you the realistic look that everybody's looking for. It's not presentation settings, because the render quality of this program is at the bottom. It's these little tiny details like this right here. So just always make sure that you keep that in mind when you are working with this program. So if you notice right here also, see how the program is just not going to, it's not going to put the material together properly. So when you adjust materials, you need to always look at these little things like this, because you might overlook them because these little details might not be that important to you, but clients will see this, and in my opinion, these little things like this kind of says, well, he's not really that keen on details. So, and I've been called out on this back in my early days of Structure Studios use. The client was like, oh, look at my brick, and I was like, oh, kind of made me feel like an idiot. So I just started paying attention to that. So what I'm going to do, you see this line here, this is hardscapes and decks. I'm going to double click this line. I'm going to use my pan material again, and I'm just going to find that. You can see that it's not 100% right. What I like to do is look for patterns in the brick. And so I'll just kind of scroll through here. I'm looking for this pattern right here. This little dot is what I'm looking for. And we're just going to keep scrolling. There it is, right there. So there it is. That's what I'm looking for. So now I know this is on this course here. Now I know this brick here. And so I'm just going to find out. Watch that line disappear. See that? And it just disappears. So now you have a nice seamless transition to the house, and it's not all weird You're not going to get called out. Now, if you do all change same or something like that, this is going to change again. So when I talk about manipulating materials, and this is the material manipulation that I'm talking about. Just making sure that everything's lined up, and especially on shingles, like when we get up on the roof, you got like a really complex roof line. It's you're gonna have to match up those shingles so you don't see like the different sections in your 3D model. So, especially if you're charging any type of money to, um, to build models, if you're at that advanced stage and you're not paying attention to these little details like this, and you ship your model out, or you're doing just renderings for someone, that's just not a good look. Take a little more pride in your work. Put in a little bit more effort. Take the extra 15, 20 seconds to adjust your materials. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. So when you take that photo or you're posting to social media, everything's in place and everything's where it should be. So, always just put in just that little bit of effort. Just a little bit of time that you're going to put in that's going to make your stuff stand out and be better than everybody else's. So it's not like it's going to take you an hour to move that material around. Just move it around. Take some pride in your work. Put in some more effort. Look for these little things like this, and it doesn't take long to fix these things. So a quick tip on material manipulation for you. And it also works like on the copy paste stuff. So if you're copying and pasting from the material stage and you made all these material adjustments, that's what I'm talking about for the materials. If I did this and I copied and pasted in some other face, all the materials are going to be out of whack again. So if you have tons of material manipulations like that brick right there, or the roof shingles, or column posts, or wood grains, or anything like that, Structure Studios is not going to retain all that information. You're going to have to go back and do all that again if you don't copy paste from the, proper stage. So just to kind of give you a little bit of heads up on that. We've had that discussion before. That's the reason that I do not copy paste from the material stage or from the project information stage. I do a lot of material manipulation. That's what I'm talking about, a lot. So you got a big house, man, you've matched up materials, everything's perfect. Windows sills and headers or 90-degree angles on it, and then you copy paste from the wrong. All that's on large houses, 25,000 square feet. I mean, like big giant houses, large properties. There's a lot of material manipulation going on. And it does when you get on a big giant property like that. I mean, it's going to take, I'll probably spend, 45 minutes, a good solid 45 minutes just adjusting materials. Just to get all that, exactly, just like we did the brick here, to get everything perfect so you don't see those seams where all the pieces come together. So if you've seen any of my work, everything's, you're just like, well, how's that one piece? Well, it's not one piece. It's probably 4 pieces, but I spend the time to adjust my materials where it all looks seamless. So just a quick tip for you there. So let's get back to this. Let's get back to the house stage. So this guy here, and we're going to go here. So we're going to add this roof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to de-outline tool, de-shortcut key for outline tool. I usually get on a corner on the outside and I'll snap it. And then I would go around this way, and I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to click and end that line. So I'm going to pick it back up from there while it's still highlighted. A for my line tool again. I'm going to go right back over to here. I'm going to click here, and then it's going to see the blue dash line, and then I can just hit enter for autocomplete. So now what it's going to do is since it retained this last bit of information right here, I got 2 blocks that are the same. So if you go into your house stage, you have on your height, you have single story, which is default 10. So always be mindful of your plate height. It was like this one right here is an 8, but it's a +2 for the porch. So, that's it. Plate heights are very important, especially if you're attaching structures to it. If you don't change your plate height, let's just say it's an older home just like this, it has an 8 plate height, and then you attach a structure to it and it's 10 feet, and then you go to price your 10-foot structure and it's really only 8, that's going to add a lot more cost to the overall build. So plate heights are very important. Don't just say, it's 10 feet default and then everything's 10 feet default. Be mindful and be aware of your plate heights, especially if you're attaching arbors or cabanas or shingle roof structures, porches to your house, be mindful of that because it's gonna skew your numbers on your estimate. And a couple $1,000 to $3,000 of extra material that you really don't need because you have it as a 10, it should have been an 8, could be the difference between you losing the project and you winning the project. So always be accurate with your models and your designs especially. So we're going to save this. So what I'm going to do is default height is 10, roof second story is 20. What we're going to be looking for is a set height of roof only. It's going to be roof only, just like this. So I know this is a 10 because we're up 2 and it's an 8 plate. So this is plus 2. This is a 10. So therefore my plate height here is 8. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to set this at 10. And there you have it. So open porch, notched out. It's in 2 pieces, walls plus roof. But if you notice that these older homes usually are like, oh man, I've seen them as low as 3 pitches. These older homes like this, like 80s, 8-foot plate with like a 3 or 4 pitch. So we're going to play around with the pitch of this roof right here. So while the roof is still highlighted, I'm just going to drop this down to like a 4. And then we're going to click and highlight. See the white highlight here? On this section, I'm going to go to my roof section. I'm going to change this to gable. Oh no, look, there's a hole. What am I to do? House tab, add 1 inch. And there you have it. Oh man, but look at my brick. It's stacked. What am I going to do about that? Well, back in material stage, you double click just this section here, and all I'm going to do is just roll this over to the side to get that offset. So move material, and I'm going to come straight over just like this. Problem solved. It took 2 seconds to do that, and it doesn't look all weird and stuff. So we're going to go back here. So I've got what is this? A 4. I'm going to leave this like a 4 or a 3 in the center, but I'm going to turn my sides up a little bit higher because I want my gable to be a 5. I'm going to leave this lower. So if I wanted to change this and this, I would highlight this section here by a white line highlight, hold control and click this section. So I can just do these 2 sections and make it a 6. And there we go. So looking pretty good here. Let's take a look at our photo. So this also has a little decorative soffit, box soffit right here. See, it's kind of decorative. If you wanted to do that detail on these older homes like this, these single stories, with me talking, yeah, the video is going, 18 minutes so far. But if I'm just doing this, just like bang, 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 I'm going to build this entire house in 15 minutes. But yeah, I'm doing a lot of talking. So let's just do this little detail right here, and I'll show you some quick tips. So in one of the updates, they did take out. See, they do like a 1-inch notch back on the box soffits. In the cheaper homes, they will put the fascia right on top of the box, but in your more high-end homes, they're going to be more flush. It's going to be like a flush box soffit. That's the way the program used to be, and then they changed it. So what they need to do is they need to make it where we can adjust the soffit to be flush, or if we wanted it recessed, we could do that too. But they need to change that. Let me see if... See, it still leaves a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch. Even when you do adjust, they won't let you go to 0. That's what I'm talking about. You need to be able to turn this to 0. But you see, it changes the fascia. There's no controls for the soffit. It's just the fascia. So usually fascia is going to be 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, nothing. These are all ridge cap stuff. There needs to be a section for the soffit also, so that we can adjust this soffit. So if I wanted this flush, I could get the box soffits flush instead of having this weird, you know, notch back like this. Um, for older homes, yeah, like cheaper, like more of your development style homes, you're going to see the fascia over the box soffit because it's easier and it's cheaper to do it that way. It takes a little more skill to cut out the actual box soffit and then caulk and paint it. So a lot of the builders we have these days will do it like this right here. But on your higher end homes, you're gonna be more of a solid box soffit. So we need that option in the soffit. So we have the fascia, we can adjust that. Yeah, great. But we need to be able to adjust this soffit. So Structure Studios, if you are watching, these are the things we need. We don't need more plants and birds and characters, and we need you know performance upgrades like this here. So that is that. So let's go back in the material stage. We're gonna this underside. We're gonna Control C that material. We're gonna Control V material there. Here we go. So, all right, let's get back to it here. So I'm gonna build this out of custom shapes, and so we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna make this video, and it's a little more intricate here. So I know this box offers are 12s. So I'm gonna go. Let me see, 12, and then we're gonna do a little curve here. So in custom shapes, I'm gonna go one, oops, one, and then we're gonna kind of almost like a recurve type of number here. I'm gonna turn my relative angle off with a K shortcut key, so I can kind of get a little more of a something like this. It looks like it kind of straightens out. So let's do kind of like that. I'm gonna roll it back up like this. Oh man, this is a mess. Look at this font. And you can't control the arrow size either for the curves, which is just very frustrating. See, you get these gigantic arrows. You can't control the size of those things, man. It's just outrageous. Whoever's making the decisions over there just needs to stop making decisions. So we're gonna go like this. It looks like a 5. So I'm just gonna guess this angle here, and we're gonna go something like this right here. I'm gonna go that. You can turn all this off. It's what I usually do when I get down on detail stuff like this. Wait a minute. Let's see. Oh, they did change it. They finally added that in there. Look at that. So, hey, good on them. They must be watching my videos. So, I'm going to go here. Let me see. Maybe this is a little bit higher, 4 or 5 inches. Something like this. Make sure you change that. I think we're at 3/4 here, so we're going to go 0.75. And then we have our little piece. And it's in a different material color, so let's see. And now we're going to double click this guy. Hit the W shortcut key to rotate. L to turn my relative angle back on. The L shortcut key, and I'm just going to bloop bloop. Just like this. I almost got the pitch. Now I need to rotate this back down on my gizmo. This Y needs to be going back up, or Z. So I want to hit the W short, and you see the blue box. Click that blue box. It's going to reset the orientation. So now I can drag this guy over here like this. And I'm going to snug this guy up just like that right there. And we're going to go. No, we're going to come down. I'm going to manually. There we go. There we go. So now you have that cool little detail, and these things, they don't take very long. So we have that, and if I want to take this guy, I want to go back and see how much I'm snapped. So I got to go to my hide unhide. I got to turn on my 2D roofing to make sure that my line is there. You see how I'm kind of off. So if I have my snaps on point and line, I'm going to turn my grid off, and then I'm going to try to snap it just like that. So now I'm completely flush Let me go 1 inch back. It's not going to snap. Look at that. Oh, I got to turn my grid on. So turn my grid on. And it's still not going to snap. So fun stuff, fun stuff. Yeah, we're just gonna just eyeball it. So 1 inch in. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy paste to the other side once you have that one built. And I'm going to drag it out here. And I'm going to use my mirror. I'm just going to click it. Watch this. Boop. And now I'm just going to snap it 1 inch off the corner. Hit the Q shortcut key or escape, whichever one. I usually use Q. And snaps. There we go. And we're back in business. Look at that. See, very fast. Very simple. As long as you're using your snaps and your grid, that's the way the program was intended to be used, you're going to be okay, and you can do cool little things like this and make sure everything is nice and seamless, so you don't have those issues. So, but if you also notice, this is something else I've been trying to get Structure Studios to do, is drip edge. So we got the ridge cap, yeah, that's all fine and good, but we need this drip edge, and I'll show you that right here. So if you notice, it's a 2.5 inch drip edge. That's going to be on there, but we don't have that. See, these little details like that, it really gives that the detail that you need. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to get them to do that. Just gives a little more detail, and looks a little more real. I do a lot of house models for a lot of like custom home builders, and they do want things like really fast. Hey, my client really needs to see this house. I'm like, well, I'm not going to spend 3 days to build and model all the detail in SketchUp, so let me bang this out for you in Structure Studios in 3 hours. And these little things like this, like drip edge, would be huge to have in the house stage. But most importantly for Structure Studios right now is the only thing they need to focus on is performance, because it's very, very slow, and it's just like continual lag and drag. It's very tough. So performance. Let's get the performance up. It's like nothing else. We don't need anything else. Just focus on performance. So again, here's some little details for you guys very quickly on that. So that's pretty much it. We're going to get back to the house itself. Let's do some posts real quick. I always build my post in custom shapes. So that looks like I don't know, 8x8 cedar post, maybe? I can't really tell. It's kind of grainy. So let's go back over to here. I'm going to go check my snaps, make sure everything's where it should be. And here's my porch. And so we're going to put a post here. So 8x8. So 8. So we're up 10. Remember, we're only up 2. 8. So an 8-foot plate. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste another guy right over here. And we're just going to eyeball this. There we go. So starting to take shapes. Now we got a drop beam here, and this is other little details I'm talking about. It's not going to take long to do. But this drop beam here, this is not the way this house is going to be constructed in real life. There's a drop beam. So I'm going to do that in custom shapes also. Basically all you're going to do, get back on your porch line, go all the way across, click D, shortcut key for outline tool, click, and I'm going to set this for like a 1, set it to an 8. There we go. I'm going to go up. There we go. So we got our drop beam. So, that little detail like that, it goes a long way when you're building. It's like a brown. So let's change. Let's go to material stage. I'm going to click this white, and I'm going to select matching because I'm going to do this all at once. Now I'm going to go over to my material stage. I'm going to go I'm just going to type in brown. Whoops. Brown. And acrylic. I don't want it shiny. Spray deck. Let's do this. There we go. Close it. That's a little too brown. like a little older looking. And let's change our roof also. Type in roof. We'll grab like a 3 tab. There we go. So now we're cooking. And get back over to here. Let's see what that looks like. Here's our house. So let's change these to like I don't know, like a cedar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in, if you want like a solid wood board like plywood, type in structural. It's going to pull up all the plywoods. So I use these a lot for stuff like this. Let's do some red cedar here, and I'm just going to kind of do like this right here. So you see how it's the pattern? See the pattern is there? Turn this down a little bit. They're really orange, so make that really orange. There we go. Oh, I see there's also siding up in there, so we'll change that. Okay, so you see this pattern? See the knots here? I don't like that. So what I do is I'm going to double click this post. I'm going to hit the move tool, the pan. I'm just going to give it a spin. I'm just going to kind of look for something that I like. So let's do something like that. And I'm going to change this one also because I don't like that one. That's like an eyeball. I'm going to do some more knots like that. A little more of a natural look. But you got a little Z fighting up here. So let's drop these down. There we go. Like that. Now, there's some siding under here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click the walls. Back in material stage. Double click the walls. And I'm going to double click this wall. I'm going to hold control. I'm going to click all the walls that I want to change to siding. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to type in siding. And then grab something, you know, and their siding really sucks. I'm going to do like a white, I don't like that either, like a wood. Yeah, that'll work. It's like it's too large. It's like an 85, there we go. There we go. So there we are. And that's it. So little things like this, you know, your drop beams, your post, you know, lining up your materials. So like this right here, I really don't like that edge brick like that, but that one is what it is. These little details, like your little box office details, you know, material manipulation here, material manipulation over here on your walls, right here. Just these little things like this is going to give you, you know, a nice look to your models, and it's really going to go along with this. What it's going to do is going to set your work apart from everybody else who doesn't spend the time to do these things. So, well, I'm not designing houses. Well, those are the words of somebody who's just going to put in minimal effort for everything that they do. Put in the extra few minutes. It's not like it's going to take you hours and days. Again, this is a very simple, basic, rudimentary program. You don't have to overcomplicate it. This program, you know, will get complicated and get frustrated when you complicate things. You can't think about it in, you know, these very technical and complex thought processes. Think of it very simple. It's a very simple program, just like this right here. You know, these little things, these little, the box office details, the drop beams, you know, these stuff, you know, it doesn't take long at all. It's like I'm talking and I'm, you know, jabbering on, you know, rambling about these things, but it's all important. These things are important. The little things are important. They don't take a lot of time. You guys can do it. You can do it. Separate yourself from the rest of the herd. Spend the extra few minutes to work on your material. Spend the extra few minutes to do the little details like this. I'm telling you, your clients are going to notice. You know, you might not notice. People who look at your work on social media might not notice, but your client will notice. And these little things like this have won me so many projects. You know, even though we're 20% more expensive, they're like, look, you took the time to put in the details. So you establish a level of trust with the client that you're not going to skimp out on the details. You're a very detail-oriented person. That stuff goes a long way for winning projects. It really does. I mean, I've been doing this for, you know, 12 years now, 13 years, something like that. And I just lists of people. that they'll all tell you the same thing. You took the time, you spent the time on details like, hey, look, oh, that's my house. Oh, that's my chair, or that's the table that my grandpa built. And I took the time to build that in, put it in the program. Make that emotional connection with your clients. Connect them to the space with your model work visually, and you have a foot in the door to win the project over the other guy who's not going to spend the extra 30 minutes to on these little details like this. So spend the time on little details. They'll go a long way. And if you have any type of issues, it doesn't matter how simple this may be or complex, come join us at VIP 3D Core Essentials. And, if you have a request for something, like I said, it doesn't matter how simple it is, doesn't matter how complex it is, post up. We can make a video for you, tips and tricks, and we can learn a lot of other little cool things in the process of like, this is just me working through even a little single story, house built in the, 60s, 70s, or 80s. Little details like that right there makes a whole world of difference. So come on over and see us on VIP 3D Core Essentials, and always be creative and always put in that effort, and you're going to benefit from it in the long run. So we'll see you on the next one.